The reason why so many people every single year finish their year off with nothing exceptional to their name is because they don't even know what they're working for or what they're locking in for. Unless you want that to be you next year, do this. Grab a notebook and write down 3 things that you want to achieve by next year, or goals. For me, the 3 things that I want to work on are first my bank balance, how much revenue we make in my business, as well as find a wife, because baby Issa will be hopefully coming in the next few years. How are you even going to get to the destination if you don't even know where it is? A goal is like the X on a treasure map. Also, forgive me if I sound really weird. I'm just coming off of a very bad sickness. If you need it, take a minute or two to go grab something to write these down on. And trust me, it's a lot better to actually write this down than not to, because wouldn't you rather be bored for 10 minutes right now as opposed to being in the same place a whole year from now? One is much worse than the other. Now that you have 1 or 3 main goals that you want to work on this year, tell yourself why, or even write it down, as in, why do you want that goal? And I want you to come up with reasons that would genuinely be able to keep you awake at night. Let's say, for example, you want a Rolex to impress some girl. After 2 weeks of saving for it, I promise you will no longer care about it, because it's not that big of a why, or it's not that big of a reason. Like, you don't really care about that. But let's say your goal is to increase your savings by $500 a month because you want to move out of a really shitty home. Depending on how poor the environment is, that is a very good motivator, because the chances that you don't stop until you get out of there are much higher than the previous example. Or let's say you want your side business to start making $5,000 a month for you because you genuinely really hate your main job that you're doing. That is another very good motivator. That's much more motivating than, say, wanting a really nice supercar to impress the huzz, whatever that's supposed to mean. Jokes aside, the thing that's always helped me with hitting my goals is always tying the goal into something emotional, as in an emotional reasoning or a why. And for me, I find that it always works better to tie it into something traumatic or negative, because negative emotions are always stronger than positive ones. And a reason behind the goal is kind of like the fuel for the vehicle that's going to take you to the destination, or to the X on the treasure map. Now, this next step is arguably one of the most important ones, and I'm not going to say take action, not yet at least. We're kind of going to exercise our brains now. So go back to that paper where you wrote down your top goals at the top. And really quick, if you're enjoying the video, if you could please subscribe to the channel, that would genuinely mean a lot to me. Thank you. If you could take action after this step and stay committed to the goal because you had genuine reasons for it, you will 100% crush your goals. I promise. Now go back to the paper where you wrote down your 3 goals, or however many goals, and I want you to rewrite them, but as questions. So essentially, increase revenue for my business will turn into, how can I increase revenue for my business? Or I want more money in the bank turns into, how can I get more money in the bank? Etc. And now what you need to do is write down 30 ways or 30 answers to that question for each of your goals. Here is the things that I wrote down. I'll honestly just put it up on the screen so it's easier for you to read, and just so you know that I'm not pulling all this out of my ass and telling you to just do things that I'm not doing, or to make myself sound like some guru. And when it comes down to writing down the 3 or however many lists of 30, do not ask ChatGPT to do this for you. This needs to purely be your brain thinking, because you need to put some commitment into it. If you can't even put a little bit of commitment into these goals, then there's honestly no reason that you should be hitting them at all. This is also what I did last year. And last year, my business had made around 50K in revenue. This year we did 70, as well as last year, I finished off the year with maybe $1,000 profit or to my name. And this year I finished it off with closer to 20 to my name, which is incredible. And honestly, a big part of this is just coming up with goals for yourself and being able to actually commit yourself to these goals. That's a very big part of the process. As well as last year, we had around 3 to 350 subscribers. Now we're at 450. I think YouTube is the thing I need to work most on. I don't know why. This is just the thing that's harder for me to accomplish or get really good at. I don't know. We're still on to come up. We'll figure it out. Now, the second last step is honestly to just always have these in your mind, be it by taking a picture of the notes that you wrote down, setting it as a screensaver, telling your friends, your family about this, posting the paper up on your wall, just having something to consistently keep reminding you about this, because just having these in your mind is a very important part of it. And if you forget, or your mind just goes elsewhere, your focus will not be on it, and you just will not accomplish it, or it'll at least take a lot longer, or nowhere near the actual amount that you could have done will be achieved. Do whatever you can to keep these goals at the top of mind. And last step is to now take action on all the things that you wrote down. Not all at once, of course, that is impossible, but just as you go on with your days or with your work or whatever you're working on, just apply these every now and then, one at a time, and soon enough, you'll see the little actions compound over time. Maybe some of these ideas that you wrote down were the things that will take you from down here all the way to up there. And the only way to figure that out or to see if that's true is by testing it. So as you keep going, just test these out, see what works, and hopefully by the next year, you will be able to look back on yourself and be like, damn, I'm very happy that I did this. I'm very happy that I was able to stay committed, etc. Or at the very least, you're able to say, okay, I'm very close to now hitting it. Now, this video, we won't talk about discipline, scheduling, starting, etc. because if you were able to make it to this part of the video, as well as come up with the goals and even just write down those 3 lists, you are more than capable of doing the rest. You don't need me to tell you how to do it, because the thing is, you already know how to do it. You just need to now do it. So now stop watching this video and go and take some action, because what will help you out more in the next year, or what will help you out more with your life? Watching another video, another reel, another short, etc., or just stopping and taking some action. So yeah, thank you so much for watching the video. I genuinely do hope that this ends up helping you out in one way or another. If you want even more help from me past this, go in the description. There's so many links there that will help you out in many different ways than others. And yeah, just thank you so much again for watching the video. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have a good one. Bye bye.